Hello everyone, it's Dianne at Minerva. I hope you're all having a super week. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a sew along for a stuffed toy. So it's this lovely little bear right here on Simplicity 9360. So we're going to be making view A today. But as you can see, there are a range of stuffed toys for you to choose from. So you could have a go at one of the others some other time. Now what we're going to be using today is a Minerva exclusive 100% cotton fleece. It's this one right here, and this particular shade is taupe. So we're going to be making the bear with a red bow. You can choose different colours of course if you wish, and I will link all the components to this below in the description, so the eyes, the thread, the stuffing and so on. Now wash and prepare that fabric before we get started. And then when you've done that, we're going to go and cut our pattern pieces together. So let's go and do that now. Here we have our pattern pieces for our bear. So this is the front. You're going to cut two. The straight grain is this way. Make a note of this dotted line because this is actually your seam line and the seams are 6mm. Also make a note of the notches and the circles. This is the back. Again, we're going to cut two. The straight grain is this way. Make a note of the marking, so the notches and the circles, and the stitching lines here and here for the ears. Now we're ready to begin making our bear. So first of all, wind half of your thread onto your machine spool and also check your machine needle. So today I'm using a size 80, a standard universal size 80. You may wish to test this on a piece of scrap and also depending on what kind of fabric you're using today. And then once we've done that, we're going to take our front pieces and we're going to sew the centre seam. So let's do that now. So we're bringing these two front pieces together like this and we're going to stitch this with a 6mm seam. Now you can clip around the curves. Don't go too close to your stitches because these are only small seams. Now you're going to apply your safety eyes. So make two small holes at your markings indicated. I would suggest making them smaller rather than larger. And then we're going to insert our safety eye. And then this cap goes on the back. Make sure that that's on securely. Now make sure that you have your large dot marked on at the front and also the area for your mouth. We're going to make a hole here, ready to add in our nose. Just a little tip for this, try and do your hole to one side of the stitching, otherwise you're going to catch your stitches and then that front seam will open up. So do it to one side of that, make sure it's straight and then push on your back. Now make sure that you have your mouth marked on clearly with some chalk. And then we're going to take our embroidery thread, thread up a large needle, and we're going to straight stitch along that line. Now you're going to sew the two centre back pieces together down here, but we're going to leave an opening between the notches here and here, again with a 6mm seam. Now with right sides facing, you're going to lay your front pieces on top of your back pieces like this, and we're going to stitch all the way around the outer edge with a 6mm seam allowance. and clip into the points with the circles at these points here and here once you've done this, and you can also snip around the curves. Clip around all the curves to make it lie flat, and then you're going to turn it through the hole to the right side. Now we're going to stuff our toy through the opening. But you want to make sure when you arrive at the arm and leg joints that you only do this lightly to allow for movement there. Now you're going to ladder stitch the opening closed. So we pop our needle in one side, and then from the other side, on the inside, we take a stitch like this and pull, and that closes up the opening, and we do this all the way up. It is a little tricky because we have the stuffing, we just need to pull it together. You might find it helps if you pin it further up so that this doesn't go out of alignment all the way up. Now we're going to add on our bow. Just one last thing to do is to find your stitching line across the ear here and stitch along it. Now you can do this by hand if you're a bit apprehensive about sewing through all the stuffing, or do it with your machine, but do take care because it's quite thick at these points. Try and manipulate it and squash it down a little to do this. And that just gives your ear some definition. So here is the finished bear. Well, I hope you've enjoyed sewing along with me today. I think this is a sweet little bear and it will make a great addition to your toys for your little ones. I look forward to seeing the other variations made up, the other animals. Please remember to include any photographs with your comments so that we can see what you've been up to, and of course create a free online account so that you can share all your makes and join in with our wonderful worldwide sewing community, and take a look at the Minerva Craft Club to get 10% off all your orders for the whole year. That's all from me for today, but I hope to be back soon with more sewing inspiration for you. Thank you so much for watching today. Bye for now.